not much to know. And this person's like, post voting on this. There's a few other in here, but they were swearing, so swearing's bad, so I took them out. Alright, so now we're going to go back to some traditional SEO we know, because I've done a lot of SEO panels and stuff, like talking about the normal sort of SEO that we're all used to. We'll come back to social a bit later. As you know, like there's lots of different ways to do SEO, and you probably do it different than I do, and it doesn't mean you're wrong, it doesn't mean that I'm wrong. However, real examples of different solutions to the same problem exist in nature, for example. Bats are winged creatures, and so are seagulls. So this is just kind of fun. I found a video of a seagull eating 5 bats. It was hiding outside where the bats are flying out. But my point here is that there's different ways to do things. Seagulls will shit on your car and bats will shit in caves. But they're evolution's answer to the same problem. So there are lots of different tools to use and ways to do it. So what I like to do first for my clients when I start a new campaign is someone who's actually got some analytic data and I have access to their analytics accounts, create a keyword map. And there are some tools to do this. I didn't highlight any because we have our own that we made, and it's pretty easy to do that with the API for analytics. But get analytics access. You got to find or make a tool that does this manually, or you do it manually. Our in-house team made a keyword mapper, but what essentially I'm doing is figuring out which pages are the strongest and then which keywords go to it. Most sites that have SEO done properly will have an HTML sitemap, which kind of looks like a keyword map when you think about it, because it's just all the anchor text going to specific pages. Here's an example of what I did for SimForm, where the keywords free cloud backup, free cloud storage are going towards the storage pages, and some of them are going to the home page. But essentially what I did here is this just came right out of analytics. And then lower down, I show additional keywords and current strong pages that we're going to maybe target later. So it's just a good start. You get your data and make things go. Any questions? So I know I'm going a little fast. Yes?
Is it as effective if you are liking people like that are on your wall, even though, is that counting towards your edge?
So the question is it as effective if you're liking people that are posting to your wall? So the answer is, when someone posts to your wall, if you like their post by hitting like, you've started an engagement with them, you've started an interaction. Now, it's not as quality of an interaction as it is if you were to say, call them out on what they just said, like say it's not right, that's a little bit higher. So the level of engagement. But what's really, really interesting is they are like a website. And in SEO, you know how you want to get a link from a really high authority website? Facebook's the same. If you're getting a link from Ashton Kutcher's homepage or his fan page or his actual account, that's going to have a shitload more power than yours. But that's just how it is. So does that answer your question? It's kind of interesting. So here's how I do some of this stuff. You map the keywords to the strongest pages. You can use a top pages tool. Open Site Explorer has a really cool one. It's free, but you probably want to get the paid one so you can see more information. But you can get the top few pages, and that'll tell you right now with your clients what the keywords are best to be going to, like which pages are actually having some authority based on like the Moz rank and the inbound links. And then you want to, this is true too, you want to add, after you know which pages you're going to be going for, because in the map here, if I'm going to start really targeting the free cloud storage page with that keyword, what you want to do is add some quality content to that page. So please make an effort to create great sites, people. It's so annoying having to work on such crappy websites all the time. So just, make content that you want to read and don't just write for the search engines and do demand media. Okay, so linking internally, across your sites. Now that you have your keyword map, don't link to other pages with the anchor text. And be careful with the exact match stuff too. If you're out doing a link down a link building campaign, just make it look natural. Have a sentence that has the keyword you're going for and link to like a couple words to your site. You don't want to have it so that your profile is always the same anchor text because Google knows you're going to lose your rankings that way. So don't be spammy and don't buy links. Okay, so competitors. I love SEMrush. I'm sure many people use it. Some people use other ones. It works really nice. I got an account, so I'm like, okay. I use that to find other competitors. But what I do is I like to go in. I look at who I think the competitors are, and I look at their keywords, and then I find any holes or things that you're missing. Look what they're all targeting, and then maybe find out some of their competitors and see what other keywords they are, and so on and so on. You can do it forever, but you want to get a list that's kind of you don't want to have thousands of keywords you're targeting because it's going to be a little saturated and it won't necessarily work as well. Stick to like around maybe 100 keywords in your keyword map at most in the beginning. Google terms, identify other competitors, and just see what else is going on SEMrush. Here's a screenshot of it if you don't know it. It's a pretty great tool. Let's see what else we got. All right, so crawl the site. Now, Google crawls your site, right? It goes in and looks at your sitemap, and there's a crawl budget, which is interesting. You want to always make sure that your sites are efficient, so that you're not burning crawl budget on pages that shouldn't be in the index, or like pagination issues that make the crawler go all over the place. You want to check those stats in Webmaster Tools and be careful about that. I love Screaming Frog. It's a tool. It costs something, but it's not that expensive. One other thing we use is we have our own tool at Portland. It's called Pitya. It's not for sale. It's not public, but we use it. It's an in-house thing, but it provides us with little CSV files and text files that show us all the metas and titles in one spot and ones that are duplicated, any errors like 404s and things like that. And we also get a really interesting thing where it spits out chunks of JavaScript code that are in the code that should be offloaded to external files, because you always want to keep your code to content ratio nice and small, where there's more content possible. We have a really cool PageRank tool. It runs the old PageRank algorithm, but what's really neat is you can find PageRank leaks on the site from it, and I love this tool. And it also shows you the number of outbound links per page, and I can go in and I can actually identify canonicalization issues. I'm sure many of you know this, but many of you probably don't. On your home page, when you have a banner that takes you to your home page, when you click on it, like if it's /default.aspx, you're going to some default page, and your home page is just / right, www.domain.com. Don't make your home image link incorrectly to your home page. A lot of people do this, or they link to index.html on every page of their site, and this helps us find things like that. But just be careful when you're doing your home page linking, where your home button is taking you to some default page as opposed to that. It drives me nuts. So, and you're gonna look at duplicate content as well. We'll get to that in a bit. This is our crawler interface. I really like it. We've got a new one, and it's great because we can pause it and run it. This is just an example. We do Lucky Jeans. This is just a screenshot of what ours looks like internally. I would encourage you to use some type of crawler, have your team make one, or use Screaming Frog, or see what else you can find. That's fantastic. Okay. And while we're at it, let's go see what's going on with Lane Bryant here. This is pretty fun to do. What time is it? How much do I got? Okay. We'll wrap it up in a second here. So what I did was, we have 883. That's pretty cool. 28 comments. Not bad for how long have we been? You're telling me it's been only 12 minutes. So I got to fly through these. So find duplicate content. You can use Screaming Frog, and you can export it to a CSV. And what's neat is you can actually sort it to look for duplicate meta titles and descriptions. But if you want to find pages that are completely full of duplicate content, there's a hash. You just go in and find the hash, sort on it, and you see two that are the same. You know that those pages are duplicate. And the problem with that page is probably something to do with pagination or something weird. I don't know which one this is, the one I was looking at earlier this morning on the site review clinic. So, but that's a good way to do it. Look for 404s, obviously 302s. You don't want any 302s, make them 301s. And sort by response code to look to see which ones are actually failing. It's pretty easy to do. Triple check everything with OpenSiteExplorer.org. And page speed, very important. You guys use page speed Chrome extension, or are you guys using page speed? I mean, it's very, very important when you have a site that you run it. You can actually just run page speed, and it'll say, these images need to be optimized. Here they are. It actually optimizes them for you. You just hit the right mouse button, and you save it, and you've got the image that they're suggesting you have. And what you can do is send those images to your clients in an email. Don't send them to the page tool, speed tool, because they're not going to understand it. And that's an annoying thing a lot of SEOs do. They're like, just run page speed, and just fix your images. No, give them the images that need to be optimized. Tell them where they need to be replaced, and that's a really easy way to do it. It does it for you. And your navigation. If people are using navigation images, I don't know why you would, but I like to use styled text. Those images, if they need to be optimized, they're on every page of the site. So you just optimize 6 pages, and it's a super quick win to have the entire site speed up. So go for that. And minify your JSS files, and if you're using WordPress, use W3 Super Cache, and make sure your server gzip compression is on. If that plugin is conflicting with other plugins, you can also use I think it's just called Super Cache. There's 2 of them, but just know that if that one conflicts, there's another one that will work as well. Robots.txt, it's in the browser. Webmaster Tools helps you create it. Webmaster Tools is awesome. If you don't run Webmaster Tools on your site, you're not asking Google what's wrong with the things that you're asking them to show up for, so you're stupid. Make sure you have Webmaster Tools and use it all the time. Look for anything like blocking the whole site. Disallow / will block the whole site. And make sure, actually today I've seen like 6 or 7 sites that had no XML sitemap references in the robots.txt file. That's the first place the crawler goes. Tell it where your sitemap is so that they know. And then if you ever get hacked or spammed, like someone can inject links to your site, you can show Google, look, it's not in our sitemap. Those are bad. And that's a good way to help with that kind of issue. Raven tools. These guys, I love these guys. They just added a new social media tool that's launching this week, so I haven't had a chance to try it out, but I wanted to give them a shout out because they're great. And they didn't add a fee, which I think is pretty cool. You add a tool and don't add a fee for it, it's pretty sweet. Majestic and Blacko. Use Majestic for backlink history. You can identify link building efforts. What's neat is you can look at the cumulative backlinks or the non-cumulative. So if you're looking at non-cumulative, it's actually what's happening right now. It's not a whole lot, but the cumulative will always continue to grow, but it's counting all the links you already have. So understand the difference between those two. How much time have I got? Sweet. All right, so takeaways. SEOs cannot ignore social. Powerful traffic driver that can help with rankings. You gotta do it. You gotta understand it. Facebook is about driving engagement to get users to take action. Context is king. Content was king. Now context is king. Understand that. Take that away with you. Instead of having you build your own links, get your users to build thousands of links for you. That's what I think you should take away. And if you need anything like this, contact me. I'll get in touch with you. I have access to a private beta. This dashboard I've been showing you. Can't beat a free trial. Doesn't cost anything. I don't need your credit card. There's my contact information. I put a little page up that's easy to get to, and you can fill out a form. It's a Google Doc. I love Google Docs, and forms are so sweet. And that's all I've got. Thank you very much for your time today. I'm going to run back and just see what we got left on this. See how many more we got. And I'll leave it open. We can mess with it after. But we got 991 people liking it during the course of this presentation. That's pretty good. I'm doing work while doing work. All right. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks very much, Aaron. So, I wonder if everybody who's engaging with Lane Bryant realizes who they're engaging with.